All right, hey guys, Tim here with The Juice, and I am super excited to talk to you today about our proven system for helping using strength and conditioning protocols to help you get more out of your kicking. This started a long time ago when we saw people coming to us kicking 4, 6, 8 hours a day, multiple sessions, starting to get overuse injuries, starting to get burnout, fatigue, and worst of all, stagnant gains. We want you to get all the gains. We do this through a system of kind of identifying each of your kicks, the most common ones you're going to use in either competition for fighting or for technical stuff like forms or pumse, and then identifying the basic parts, whether it's mobility, correctives, strengthening, core control, or conditioning and agility work to help you release your full potential. This isn't something that we just thought of. We've actually been using this with athletes around the world. Using this system, me, Dr. Jason Hahn, Coach Anthony Graff have helped create Olympians from the US, from New Zealand, all over the world, as well as people that are winning world championships and world medals all around. So it's something that we know has been working everywhere we've been trying it, and I'm super excited to kind of show you guys how this happens. The general idea here is that everyone's being held back by some part of the kick. Now that might be your strength, it might be your mobility, you might have an old injury, an old issue that's holding you back. So first what we do is help identify what the specific limiter you have is. That might be for a front kick, for a turning kick, for a jumping kick, whatever. Some people have really good strength. Into the fight, they start to burn out. So we want to identify that and help you do it. Some people have good conditioning, their mobility is poor, and they can get in the right position. They can't make good contact on their opponent to win the match. Or when they're doing, say, pumse or a technical competition, right? They're not able to make the kick look just so because there's a specific limiting factor. We broke that down into 5 parts that we work with people everywhere on to help systematically improve that over time. One of the big things we hear from people is, how are we going to be able to identify that in you? Well, it's because we've broken it down really simply, and we have 4 or 5 years of working with this system over time, looking at how it works, what are issues and hurdles people have, and then how do we overcome it. Okay, now that we've covered a little bit about the overview of how this 5-kick domination sequence works, I want to go over the framework of what you're going to expect inside this product. Okay, first off, we've broken it down obviously into the 5 major kicks. Each kick is going to have some specific limiter we're going to help train you on and identify. The first up, where we start with mobility. This is huge in martial arts. Every martial art, I don't care what you're doing, if you have poor mobility, it's going to be really hard to win. Whether it's combatives, whether it's technical, whether it's demo, that's going to be a big factor for you. So we're looking for different kicks. Let's say it's an axe kick. Is your mobility good in your hamstring, in your low back? Where are these limiters that you can work on, and what are areas and drills you can do to help remediate that, to help express your full essence of the kick? The second part is going to be correctives. And if you've been doing martial arts as long as we have 30 years combined on the US national team, you have some injuries, right? Whether it's ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, you could just go up your body and feel it. We want areas we can do to help keep you healthy. We always say, and if you hear Dr. Hahn, he says, don't load dysfunction. That means if you have an area that's hurt and your hip is injured, and someone starts saying, hey, strengthen it like this, and you're injured, we know you're just going to be making it worse and making it worse and making it worse. So actually correcting those issues in you is going to get more out of the time you put in. Right? Our big thing is putting in what's the least amount of time we can do with the maximal gains. It's all about the gains, right? But if we don't have good correctives in that sequence, and we're doing, say, front leg round kick to the face, and you have a bad hip injury, now you're just impinging and beating down on that, and you're going to get nowhere. When we couple that with kicking 6 or 8 hours a day, or 20 hours a week, you can understand why people get overuse injuries and burnout and frustration from that. And so those are 2 of the first big parts we want to work on with you guys. Every kick comes identified with a system for those. The middle part is core stability, right? That's the transference from the ground up and the top down of the energy we produce, right? So you might have good mobility now, everything's corrected and your body works fine, but if your core power is weak, you're not going to transfer that force from the ground through your opponent. And then what's the point? No one's going to be afraid of you hitting them, or when you kick, if you're doing it for technical stuff, it's going to look really sloppy instead of really good in a nice presentation. And referees and judges know that, and your opponent knows that. So it's super important to be able to do that. And then again, working back in the chain, you have bad core work, well then we see corrective issues, then we see mobility issues. So it all starts to fit together. Once those three start to be nice and evened out, mobility, correctives, and core stability, now we can work on strengthening it, right? Once we have you feeling okay, now we can load you up some. And so every sequence has a specific strengthening movement we're going to train you on to make your kicks more effective, make them stronger, make you jump higher, make you kick faster. That's the idea, right? You make the kicks really good, technically proficient, everything works well, and now let's really bring it. So you have that, and then finally, the last part is the conditioning and agility piece. Because most fights, unless you're a superhero out there, don't last just one kick. Now I hope they do, but they really don't, right? They're lasting for a while, so making sure that you can do this kick over and over and over. And guess what? You hit your opponent with it once, they're not going to stand there next time, right? They're going to move. So we want to make sure that you can move with them in three-dimensional space and moving well. And now we're moving dynamically, and what comes up again? Mobility, correctives, core stability. So it's a whole system you can see that we've helped identify the biggest parts of what's going to happen with the 5 most common kicks for you in combative martial arts. And so we're looking at that sequence there. It's all laid out for you on how to do that. Some of the objections we get are, hey, how could you possibly know my specific limiter, right? Well, we've broken this down into a system that you're going to look through, and you're going to have us actually coaching you through this. So it's videos of myself and Dr. Han taking you step by step by step of how these go. So you can do them anywhere. You can do them in your living room, in your home, at the martial arts school. So there's no issue, no hurdle. You don't need a $30,000 piece of equipment to do this. All you have to have is desire to improve. And if you're a really steadfast martial artist out there, I think that's probably something you have in spades. To kind of get a feel for how this is going to work, I want you to try this, okay? This is where we're going to have the rubber meet the road. Work on front leg round kick to the face. That's just from here. Bring that front leg up and kick it up right now as high as you can, okay? Do 5 of those. And what I want you to do is you're going to comment for me in the comment section below. Is your mobility what held you back? Is it an old injury? Hey, I can do that, but man, my knees are bugging me. Are you doing it, and then every time you do it to kick high, you do this, and your torso bends over because you have poor core stability? Can you do it, but you know it's like a little butterfly kick and there's no power behind it? You're like the people standing in the buckets trying to do their front leg kicks, and you know there's no power, and now no one's afraid of you. Or you do 5 of them, and you already winded. Okay, so I want to help identify what that area is for you. Again, mobility, correctives, core stability, strengthening, and then agility and conditioning, right, that loading factor of it, and what is the one holding you back for front leg face. So I'm looking forward to hearing your comments in the section. I'll be commenting back, you know we always do, and looking forward to getting this out to you guys. Thanks.